I'm 77. I stopped looking for a girlfriend at 63. Not because I gave up, because I finally understood the spreadsheet. The men still chasing romance at our age, they're not optimists. They're running a calculation that stopped making sense somewhere around 2008. They're trading the only irreplaceable resource they have left, uninterrupted peace, for market dynamics that reward biological leverage they no longer possess. This isn't about loneliness. This is about understanding when to fold a hand the house is designed for you to lose. If you're exhausted, you're not broken. You're calibrated. Your nervous system has been running cost-benefit analysis while you were busy trying to be enough for someone. And it delivered a report you kept ignoring. The price of admission keeps rising, while the return keeps dropping. You've already done the performance. You showed up for decades. You built something. You endured disappointment, compromise, the invisible labor of maintaining someone else's emotional equilibrium. And now you're being told, do it again, but this time with less runway, higher stakes, and an audience that isn't watching. Here's the invisible villain. The biological clock didn't disappear after 60. It reversed. Women's peak leverage is youth and fertility. That window closes hard. But here's what nobody mentions. Men's peak leverage was never biology. It was time, resources, and demonstrated stability. By 60, you've already demonstrated it. You've already proven you can provide, protect, endure. The market doesn't reward you twice for the same credential. The women in your age range, they're selecting for what you had at 40, not what you have at 65. And the women who'd be impressed by what you've built, they're not on apps looking for men who remind them of their father's retirement spreadsheet. You didn't fail at dating after 60. The market changed the rules, and you're smart enough to notice. This is the reframe. Never getting a girlfriend after 60 isn't a gap in your life. It's a boundary around your life. The data suggests something uncomfortable. Chronic relationship stress in older men predicts earlier mortality than being single. Social isolation is lethal, but so is partnership tax when you're negotiating from a position of declining leverage. Read that again. The energy you're spending on proving you're still viable, that energy has a better ROI somewhere else. Let me walk you through what changes at 60 that nobody is telling you. Men age like credibility. Women age like fertility. After 60, you're both past your market peak, but the drop-off isn't symmetrical. You lost leverage gradually. She lost it catastrophically. The emotional economics of that difference create impossible negotiations. Relationships after 60 often come with healthcare rider clauses nobody writes down. You're not dating a person. You're dating a probability tree of medical events, caretaking expectations, and end-of-life logistics. That spreadsheet makes romance expensive. The dating pool at 60 isn't full of hidden gems. It's full of people who've been selected against for 40 years by everyone else. Some exceptions exist, but the base rate is brutal. You're fishing in water that everyone else already fished. Late-life divorce is financial annihilation, and second marriages after 60 fail at higher rates than first marriages. If you've protected assets this long, a girlfriend is a liability with unlimited downside and capped upside. At 30, you could invest 5 years in a bad relationship and recover. At 65, 5 years is 20% of your remaining functional life. The sunk cost fallacy becomes existential. Every dinner is expensive. Maintaining attraction requires performance. At 65, you're performing with less testosterone, less energy, less recovery. She's watching you decline in real time. That's not romance. That's caretaking negotiations disguised as companionship. You weren't lonely because you lacked a girlfriend. You were lonely because you lacked purpose. The girlfriend doesn't solve that. She just gives your purpose her name and makes you responsible for her emotional weather patterns. So what do you build instead? The five-pillar fortress that doesn't require someone else's approval. Your mornings belong to you. Your evenings belong to you. No negotiations about when to eat, where to go, whose family to visit. This is the compound interest of peace. Protect it. Measurable outcome. Can you name the last time someone else controlled your schedule? Your money goes where you decide. No joint accounts, no hour expenses. You've spent decades building this. Don't liquidate it for someone who's calculating their exit strategy while smiling at your stories. Measurable outcome. Net worth trajectory independent of relationship status. You don't need to impress anyone. You need to outlive your dependencies. Muscle mass, cardiovascular health, mobility. These are non-negotiable. Not for attraction, for autonomy. Measurable outcome. Can you carry your own groceries at 75? At 80? Master something. Teach something. Write something. The men who decay fastest after 60 are the ones who stop learning because they think the game ended. The game changed. It didn't end. Measurable outcome. Name one skill you're better at today than last year. You're not building for a girlfriend. You're building for the people who remember you as the man who didn't need permission to be himself. Mentor younger men. Invest in grandchildren. Fund something that outlasts you. Measurable outcome. What exists because you did? Here's what they won't tell you about choosing solitude after 60. You're not refusing love. You're refusing liquidation. Every relationship is a merger, and in mergers, someone's equity gets diluted. At 60, the terms are rarely favorable for men who've already built what they're going to build. The Stoics understood this. Amor fati. Love your fate. But they also understood some fates you choose by refusing the alternative. Your withdrawal isn't depression. It's your nervous system telling you the ROI went negative. You spent decades proving yourself worthy to someone, employers, wives, children, society. At some point, the proving ground closes. That's not defeat. That's graduation. The permission you're looking for, you can stop performing. The audience left. The stage is empty. And that emptiness, it's not a void. It's space. Space to read the books you never had time for. Space to sit with coffee and watch the morning without someone asking what you're thinking. Space to be unfixable because you're not broken. Some men will call this cope. Let them. They're the ones spending their 70s optimizing dating profiles and wondering why 40-year-old women don't respond. You're building something that doesn't require anyone's validation. That's not loneliness. That's liberation. So here's the question I'll leave you with. What would you build with the energy you're currently spending trying to be enough for someone who's calculating whether you're still worth the maintenance? That answer? That's your blueprint. I am the architect. I will see you in the next blueprint. Sovereign Male Dynamics, Architecture for the New Male Era.